Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my new playlist. So where I'll be talking about packages which is present inside our Python, which is used in Python, I would say rather. So now, if you haven't watched my previous tutorial on Python, so please go and watch it. So it will help you strengthen up your basics in core Python. I've started from very basics of Python. Then I moved into OOPS programming language, that is object-oriented programming language, and then now I am leaning more towards machine learning. So basically, I'm going towards machine learning. So I'm starting with few packages which is used in our Python. So moving on, last playlist was made in Hindi. That is why now I'm making this video in. I'm making this playlist, this particular Pandas, NumPy, and every other packages, machine learning, deep learning, all will be in English from now onwards, because most of them are requesting to make videos in English so that everyone could understand. So without wasting any time, let us start with Pandas. Now, what is Pandas? First of all, let me just open Anaconda. So I'll be using Jupyter Notebook for my coding. So that is the best for beginners. That is what I have told in my previous playlist in Python in the introduction. Like, I'll be using this particular Anaconda distribution, inside which I'll be using my Jupyter Notebook as my IDE, that is integrated development environment, where I'll be writing my codes, that is Jupyter Notebooks, or you can use PyCharm, any of that. So for now, I'll be using Jupyter Notebook as of, so that every beginner can understand. Now, when I am opening this Anaconda navigator, or you can say Anaconda distribution, you'll be able to find there are different IDEs for data visualization, data statistical, say statistical operation kind of thing which we can perform. So there are different tools, different IDEs present inside my Anaconda navigator. So this is basically a bundle which contains different tools, which helps in data manipulation, data cleaning, and many more things that we can do using this different tools. Now, moving on, when I go and click on this environments, and when I search over here, what are the different kind of packages which this bundle Anaconda contains? So either you can download Python separately and you can import different packages which you need, or you can install this Anaconda navigator, where you will be finding like almost all packages present inside in it. So any package you want, you need not go into a browser and download. It is already present in this Anaconda navigator. So this is a bundle of many things. So over here, if I search for Pandas, you'll be able to find like this is already there in this Anaconda distribution Pandas. I just need to import it to my Jupyter Notebook, where I'll be writing my codes. So guys, now let's move on. So this is basically my Jupyter Notebook. I guess everybody knows about core Python till now, at least basic things. If you haven't, and if you understand Hindi, then please go and watch my old tutorial. If not, I'll soon make videos in English for Python. So now let's start with Pandas. So Pandas is basically my most powerful, I would say, most powerful package inside Python. Which so Pandas as well as NumPy. NumPy is basically numerical Python. So these two are the, you know, as a life of data scientist, these two will be your mornings. So you'll be working on these two at the starting of your day. So now let's start with Pandas. So I have just imported this particular package. So this is how you going to import all the other packages. Just write keyword import. So and then write the package name which you need to import from your Anaconda. So this will be now present in your Jupyter Notebook. So after I have imported, so today I will be talking about how to read a file in Pandas. So this is a doubt for many more. Like many of them have requested me to make a video on this. So this is where I am starting my tutorial. So I have imported my packages Pandas. So after importing, so what I can do, I can just give a short form for this particular package. Instead of writing Pandas again and again, what I'll do, I'll write as this is my aliasing, means I'll just give a short form for Pandas, right? I'll give PD. This is the ideal way. Like, I mean, this is how 99% of machine learners or data scientists do. They give a short name instead of writing the whole name Pandas. They just give a short name PD. Okay, now moving on, I have imported my package pandas, and then I have defined my variable a. What I have done is this. Now over writing pandas, what I'll do, just write pd. This is simple, right? So what I am doing now, I am reading a csv file for now. This is my first task, to read a file. Now file can be many types, many formats. It can be excel file, that is xlsx, or pdf file, or sql file, sql table file, csv file. So for beginners, for this is the first time that you're trying, so we are trying with csv file. Now I'll show you what actually my file contains that I'm trying to read it. So this is my csv file with the name ex1. So csv is nothing with commas, nothing but comma separated values. So all my values will be separated by comma. If you see over here, a comma b comma c, everything is separated by commas. This is comma separated value. So this basically file contains comma separated value, which I am trying to read in my IDE, that is Jupyter Notebook. So this is pd is my package dot read. Read is nothing but my inbuilt function which is present inside my pandas library or pandas package. So pandas is a package which contains an inbuilt function that is called as read. So this we can see, I've already told in Python, I'll be telling it now. After writing pd dot, just click on tab. You'll be able to find all the packages, all the inbuilt function that is present inside pandas. So I have just clicked on tab, and you will be able to find there are many and many of inbuilt functions. So for now I am trying to read, because I am trying to read my file. So I will return read. Then this is the format, read underscore the format of the file that you want to read. So in this case I am reading csv file. Now just give a parenthesis after that and give the file name inside single quotes or double quotes. So I have given my file name ex1.csv. Now when I try to execute this, it will execute successfully, and then when I write a or print of a, when I call my variable a, so over here you can find this is the thing present inside my csv file. Now let's compare. So I'm going to open my csv file. So let's compare and see how pandas is useful over here. If you see the difference, the input file, like the original file ex1.csv, this is in this format. When I try to open this using pandas library in my Jupyter Notebook, you see that all the data are my arranged, or it is now in structure in tabular format. All of these are arranged. So this is the power of pandas library. It will arrange all your data like this in a tabular form, right? Now if you see the first row of this input file, that is the original file abcd message, so by default it will take the first row as column header. Yeah, so if you see, let me just open my pencil. Okay, so all these first row thing, by default it will become my column header. This is my header, and over here you will be seeing the indexes of my row. So this is the basic format of pandas read function. Over here you will find the row index, and if nothing is mentioned in parameters, I will explain how to change column header also for now. But for now let's consider by default it is taking the first row of my ex1.csv file as column header. Okay, and the data are arranged structure in a structured format. So now moving on, now we have got our csv file for now. Let's move on. Now let me check the type of this particular variable a. If I write type and then parenthesis a, so you'll be able to find this is data frame data type. Now what is data frame? Data frame means structured tabular format. So the type of this variable a which contains this data is structured tabular format. It is in table format, with structured. It is not unstructured. It is structured with rows and columns. You will be able to see. So this is the type which you will only be finding in Pandas package. The data frame type is you won't be able to find in any other packages. It is only present in my Pandas packages. Now moving on. Now we'll see how to manipulate our data. So this is the very basic thing I'm going to say. Now, so more is going to come in the later video. So for now, I'll just talk about the two methods or two functions which is present for data manipulation. So we know our variable a contains this data, the structured data, abcd message, and all the data. Now suppose I need the top two rows. Suppose let's say this is the basic example. Suppose you have 100 rows in your csv file and you just need the top 5 rows. What you will do, use this thing, a dot head. A is nothing but the variable which contains my where I'm going to read my csv file, dot head. So if I go and click on head, press shift plus tab after head, you will be able to find it is giving me definition what basically this head means. So head means return the first n rows. So whatever number I'll give in this parenthesis, suppose for this example I'm giving 2. So for this example I'm giving 2, a dot head 2. It will give me top 2 rows of my a variable. So how come? I'll just explain it to you. So this is my a variable, right? This is my header abcd message. Now when I give a dot head 2, it will take the first 2 rows. Now the first 2 rows means the data rows, not the header. So header will be as it is, and then the first 2 rows, that is hello and world. So the first 2 rows will be over here. Now what I'll do is, if I give a dot head 1, what it will do, it will just take the first row, right? So this is like you can manipulate your data accordingly, the way you want. Similarly, like head we have tail. So by now you'll be able to guess what tail does. It will give from the bottom one. So if I press shift and tab, return the last n rows. Whatever number I give, it will return that number of last rows. Suppose I give over here 2, you'll be able to find it is giving me world and foo. So this is my a. Okay, now let me delete. So this was my a. I'm doing a dot tail 2 means it will give me the last 2 rows of my a variable. So it is giving me last 2 rows, whereas the column header will remain as it is. It won't count because this is not a data. Okay, now moving on. So these two are the basic thing that you will be able to find in pandas. So till now I have talked about the CSV file. Now let us talk about one more file, that is TSV. So CSV stands for comma separated value. TSV stands for tab separated value. Okay, so before moving on, I'll just tell you one more important thing. So over here, if you see, I'm mentioning the file name over here, ex1.csv. If your file name is in the same directory as your ipynb file, that is ipython notebook, the notebook where I have created this is in Python folder. The same folder, if you will see, my CSV file is also there. If these two, my Python notebook, I'm sorry, my Jupyter notebook file and my CSV file contains in the same directory or the same folder, then in the parenthesis of read underscore CSV function, you just need to mention the input file name. If not, okay, I'll just explain it to you. If not, suppose I cut this ex1 folder from here and then I create a new folder in my desktop itself, new folder, and I paste the CSV file in this folder. Now my CSV file is not in the same folder as my Python like Jupyter notebook, I mean ipynb file, Python notebook file. So wherever I have created this particular Jupyter notebook file, the same place I am not giving my CSV file. So let's see what it will give my output. It says file not found. So if my CSV file is not in the same folder or in the same directory of my this notebook, then it will give me error. So in that case, what you need to do, you need to give the the full path where your CSV file is. Suppose so for now I have stored in a new folder path, so I need to give this whole path, C users Kunal desktop new folder. I'll copy this path and then I'll paste it over here. After this, what I'll give, another slash and then my file ex1.csv, and then I'm going to execute this. So now again it is throwing error. Now this is the most common error a beginner will for sure face. It is a mandatory, that is Unicode error. So this error is nothing but a fault, I would say, in Windows. So whoever is using Windows OS, they will face this error for sure. For Mac and Linux, they won't be able to face this issue. So for Windows, you'll be able to face this issue because there is this fault present between compatibility of Windows and Pandas. So this is a fault present. So what you can do is just write R. R is a Unicode. So when you write R over here in the starting parenthesis, and when you again try to execute, so it will execute successfully and you will be able to find this uh, the variable which contains your CSV file data. So just use R, or what you can do, just use the different slash over here in all this on like in all the place where you it is by default taking this slash. Just use the different one, probably okay, and then remove R and execute it. So the same result. Or you, so there are two ways, just give R at the starting, or you can just change the slash. So both cases will work. So this is basically why I'm using, because the directories are different for my CSV file as well as my Python notebook. Now moving on, now I have one more file, that is TSV file. I'll show it to you what my file is. This is basically in the same folder as my Python notebook. So this is my Python notebook ipynb file, reading a file name, reading a file.ipynb. So the same folder is in my TSV. So I am opening this TSV, that is nothing but tab separated values. So over here all the values are tab separated. The before one was comma separated. Now I'm going to import this TSV file. What I have done, let's have a look. I've created one more variable called b. Then I have written the same pandas. Instead of this, what I have told, we can use aliasing, that is pd. pd dot read function underscore table. So what we have done in previous one was we have given read underscore csv over here. Now we are giving read underscore table. I'll come to that why we are using this, because there is no option for tsv. If I click in read and then click on tab, you will be able to find all the inbuilt functions after read which is available. If you will see, there is nothing called read underscore tsv. So we have to use read underscore table to open our or read our tsv file. Now I have given the name of my tsv, or you have to give full path, as I already told, if the directory is different of your Python notebook and the tsv file. In this case, I'm using the same directory, so I'm just giving the name. When I execute this and I execute b, so you'll be able to find, this is how you'll be able to find the structured data of my tab separated values. So okay, I'm closing this. Let's compare my input file. Okay, just a second guys, I'm opening this Python folder, I'm opening this test.tsv, and then I'm opening this Python notebook. So you'll be able to find it is successfully reading my TSV file also. Now what if I want to open my TSV file with underscore CSV built-in function itself? If I use this same, the one that I have used in the top, read underscore CSV, if I wanted to open with this same function name, let's see what it will throw. It will give my output. As you can see over here, it is giving my output. There is no error in output, but it is giving output in different way. How this is happening, let's understand that. Now when I say to open it in comma separated value, what it is trying to do, so it is reading this tst file and it is separating column on the basis of comma. So wherever it will find comma, it will separate columns according to that. Now when this read underscore CSV is reading this test.tsv file, it is not finding any comma, so it won't separate different columns. What it will do, it will write test, and then it is finding a tab space in between test, so it will write \t. This is the reference for my tab. This is how you refer tab, \t, or for new line you will write \n. So what it is doing, test \t, test \t, and go on. Kunal Kunal \t Kunal \t Kunal. So this is how it is printing. It is showing me output. If you see, so it is not able to find any comma separated value, so it will print like this. So that is why we are using table over here. All right, now moving on. If we had used CSV in this and we need the same output as we are getting with read underscore table function, what you need to do is just write separator equal to \t. I'll explain how this is happening. Now when I go over here, I place my cursor in read underscore CSV and then I click shift tab, it will give me definition what this particular function will do, read underscore CSV. So by default, so there are many parameters which you can define for this function. If you see, there are like 50 parameters total, around 50, out of which one parameter, so these are by default parameter. If nothing given, these are will be considered. So by default, if nothing is given for read underscore CSV function, the separator is comma by default. Now what we can do is we can change the separator to \t. It means it will separate my data into different columns according to, if my separator is \t, wherever it will find \t, it will separate my column into, it will separate my data into different columns. Now let's see what it will throw me output. C equal to this, and then I'm executing this C. Yeah. Now the same way we can try this. What it is doing, read underscore CSV. All right, it is reading test.tsv. It is reading this file. Now ideally, if nothing is given, the separator will be comma. It will search for separator. If not found, it will consider that as same column. Now we have specified, we have overwritten our separator as \t. So wherever it will find \t, what it will do, it will make a separate column for each of that. So this is a way we can use. Alright, I hope you're understanding what I'm telling. If not, it is my request to open your Jupyter notebook and try whatever I'm doing right now. Now, moving on, we have see how to open TSV, how to open CSV. So if we need to check the type, we have seen it is a data frame type, which we will be able to find only in Pandas library. And the data frame is nothing but structured tabular format, which you will be able to find. Okay, now moving on. So in the top we have seen, if nothing is mentioned, it will take header as my first row of the data. Suppose my CSV file contains 5 rows. So if nothing is given, it will take the first row as my header. So this is what we have seen over here. If you see ABCD message, that was my first row in my CSV file. It is by default, it is taking this as column headers. What if we need to change that? Let's see how to change that. I've again taken one variable e. So nothing, I'm just again reading this particular CSV file x1.csv. Now there is one more parameter. If we click over here and press shift tab, you will be able to see there is one more parameter, header, which is equal to info by default. By it means like it will take my first row as header if nothing is defined. Now what we are doing, we are trying to overwrite my header. If we give my header equal to none, what it will do, I'll just, okay, what is the error? Let me just check. ex1.csv does not exist. True. Why is that? Because I have placed it into different folder. What I'll do, I'll just cut it from here. I'll place it into my folder where my Python notebook exists. Now I'll try to execute this again. Yeah, it's working. Now I'll open the CSV file again. it will be easy to understand. Now moving on, let's see how this works. I have given my header equal to none, so it won't consider the first row as my column header. It will give all the data, all the data contains inside my CSV file as the data itself, and it will index my column as well as my row. Yeah, so everything is present inside my data in this table, and there is this, and in the column name it is giving me index, and the row it was already giving me index, so nothing changes. Now what if I need to give my own column header? What we need to do is, for giving my own column header, we just need to use this another parameter called names, and then you will be able to give your own column header. So what I've done, I've again used the same variable e. I'm reading this ex1.csv, and then I'm using this names. So by default names will be none. Let's check, shift tab and then click on this plus, it will expand. By default names is none because I'm not giving any names, because my header is info, means it will already give names as the first row, whatever the first row is in my CSV file. If I need to give my own names, I'll just write this keyword called as names. I'll just pass this parameter, and I am giving a list which contains my header. So I've given 5 elements inside my list. That will be my, that will be my column header names. So as you can see, KUNAL and KUNAL. So I'm giving my own header. What if I've given one extra header? Let's check that out. So guys, just do it in your notebook as well, so that it will be easier for you to understand. I'll given one more O. I'll execute this and nothing else, nothing comes. Now, one thing we'll be able to find whenever I'm giving, I've given 6 column header name, but the data or the total column present inside my CSV file is just 5. So it will give name to all. It will, map each and everything accordingly. But O is my extra. So under O column, it will write NaN, means not a number. Like it's basically a null value, right? So if you give how many, extra, so nothing is going into error. If I give 2 more, let's say P, let's say Q, so nothing is going into error. It just write NaN, means not a number, or you can, like, for now you can understand it's a null value, but it isn't. I'll explain later. So there is no problem. Now if my parameters are less, that is passed just 4, let's check. So it is cropping my data. How come? It is not giving any column header to first of my column, and then it is starting to place my column header name KUNA. If I erase one more column header name, what it will do? Let's check. So for the first 2 rows A and B, it is not giving any header name. Then it is starting from 3, and so on and so forth. Yeah guys, so I guess the video is going very long, so I end this over here. So what we have read is how to read my TSV and CSV file. We have read about the type, that is the data frame type of pandas, and then we have read about the head and tail, like what is this used, how you can manipulate your data, how you can get first n number of, or last n number of rows. And then what we have seen is how to use this separator parameter which is present inside my read function, how to use this header, how to give your own header name over here. Yeah, so that's it for this tutorial video. Thank you so much guys for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe if you liked, and do watch my next tutorial if you further need to study on data science or machine learning, or if you need to learn more about Python. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Stay healthy, stay fit.